Hello everyone, I'm Andrea. Welcome to my channel if you're new here, and welcome back to my channel if you're not new here. And in today's video, I'm going to tell you guys one of my crazy story times, an encounter that I've had with a signer. So let's get into the video. So let me start by saying that if you guys are ever in a situation like this, don't do any of the things that I did. And the first thing you should do is stop the signing and get out of there. So now let's get into the video. So I was contacted by a signing service to conduct a seller's package. And this was my first seller's package at the time. And it was very close to me. It was only about, I want to say, 10 minutes away from my house. And I got there early to go through the document. And then it was time for me to get out of my car and go conduct the signing. So the very first thing I do is I ring the doorbell. And I always ask a signer before coming into the home whether or not I should take off my shoes or put shoe covers on. And in this case, she said, no, I'm white. Why would I have you do that? And in my head, I'm like, what does white, what do you being white have to do with me taking my shoes off? So I guess it's not common for white people to take off their shoes in their house or put shoe covers on, but I was just shocked by that comment, but I didn't think anything about it. And then so she points to her dining room and she said, we're going to do the signing right in here. And she was like, and then we sit down and she tells me, I have sold about 10 properties in the last 3 months. And I already know the gist of this because this is like my 11th time doing it. And she was like, you're going to need my ID. I don't want you taking a picture of my ID. So I made a copy of it. And she gives it to me. And I'm like, okay, perfect. And then she was like, the first thing I want to look at is the settlement statement. Pause real quick. The first thing that I show signers is the settlement statement, because I like to tell them we're going to get what the main information out the way. We're going to make sure your closing cost is what you anticipated. We're going to make sure your loan amount is correct and everything like that. But at this point, she's kind of like telling me what to do as the notary signing agent. And so she was like, the first thing I'm going to look at is the settlement statement. And so we look at the settlement statement. I like to go through it with the signer, like point line by line. But she was like, no, give it here. And she holds it up to her face and she's checking. And she's like, no, I need a ruler. So she goes to her office and she gets a ruler. And she sits, she's going line by line with the ruler. And then she was like, why does it say that I'm paying $15,000 for a title insurance policy for the sellers? I mean, for the buyers. And she was like, did you print the correct settlement statement? And then I was like, yes, I did. These are the documents that they sent to me that I printed myself. And she was like, no, this couldn't be my settlement statement. This is wrong. And so she looks at the top. She says, it says my name on it. It has the buyer's name on it. But this is wrong. There's no way that I'm paying for their title insurance. Why would I pay for their title insurance? $15,000 for their title insurance. And so she's asking me questions. She was like, why are you not answering my questions? Why? I was like, I don't know what did I say? I was like, I don't know the specific details about the transaction. And we're going to have to call someone. When it comes to a seller's package, I didn't know who we called because she doesn't have a loan officer. So I'm literally confused. She was like, I'm going to call the real estate agent because I don't remember agreeing to this. So she calls up her real estate agent and she was like, I'm going to say the real estate agent's name is Sophia. Okay. So she calls up Sophia and she's like,
hi, Sophia. I'm sitting here with the notary, and I see here that I'm paying for the buyer's title insurance policy for $15,000. When did I agree upon that?
And so Sophia's on speaker. And Sophia's like, hold on, let me pull up the contract and look at the contract details. So she's going through and she was like, no, it looks like we agreed that you were going to pay the title insurance policy. She was like,
I didn't agree to pay the title insurance policy.
So she's yelling at this point, and she goes to her office and she has a folder full of papers that I guess that her and her real estate agent did together. And so she's looking at like this chart, and she's looking at the chart, and I guess the chart detailed what she was going to pay for and what the buyers were gonna pay for. She was like,
I'm looking at the chart and it's not checked that I'll be paying the title insurance policy. I'm not paying extra $15,000 for them.
The real estate agent is like, it's what we agreed upon. And then she was like, Sophia, okay, guys, okay, I'm going to tell you exactly what she said, but bear with me. It's a lot of cussing in this video, so if you don't like cussing, it's a lot of cussing. She's like,
I'm not fucking paying $15,000 for a title insurance policy. You really fucked me here, Sophia. I never agreed upon this. That's an extra $15,000 coming out of my closing, out of my portion.
And Sophia was like, well, you know, you just sold 10 properties. And she was like,
fuck that. Those are my properties. These properties have been in my family for so long. It's my money. Are you telling me what to do with my money now?
And I'm like, what do I do in this situation? I don't know what to do. Like, do I sit here? Because the conversation's getting heated. She's yelling on the phone. Sophia isn't really yelling, but she has an attitude on the phone. And I just don't know what to do. And I'm just listening. They're continue going back and forth. And the signer starts screaming to the top of her lungs. So at this point, she moved away from the table. She's like at the end of the table. So I'm sitting right here. And then she went to the other end of the table. And we're in her dining room. Key. Again, we're in her dining room. Okay? She's like yelling, pulling out her hair. She's at the end of the table. She's yelling. And she's on the phone. And she's literally pulling her hair. She's like,
I didn't agree about this. I didn't agree.
Literally yelling to the top of her lungs. And in that moment, that is when I should have got up, packed my stuff, and left. If this lady is acting like this in front of me. But I didn't. And that was my fault. She picks up a glass teacup. It was clear. From her china cabinet. She throws it in my direction. And she hangs up the phone, and then she proceeds to throw the phone. And my heart is pounding. Because I don't think like it was meant to be thrown in my direction. I don't think she had any hate towards me. Okay? Or was angry at me whatsoever. And in that, I knew in that moment I should have got my ass up and went out of there. But I didn't. And so she goes in the other room. And at this point, I'm like putting my notary stamp back into my bag, putting my notary journal back in my bag, but I'm still sitting there like this. And I don't know what to do. I truly didn't know what to do. And she went in the other room. She came back like 10 minutes later, profusely apologizing to me, telling me that she did not mean to get that angry. And she was like, you know what? I'm not going to sign these documents. And she was like, I think you should leave. And so I was like, okay, no problem. And then as I was getting in my car, she comes back out and she's like, no, actually, no. I'm going to sign. Can you come back in? I'm sorry. I'm actually going to sign the documents. And so we signed the documents. And she's still angry, but she's just like, she doesn't even want to look at any more of the documents. She's just like, give me the loan package, and we're signing and signing and signing and signing. And she didn't pick up the glass when I came back in the house. It was still on the floor. And comment what your thoughts are on this situation, and get yourself some protection. Get some, what is that spray called? Get some pepper spray. Get a pocket knife. I even know that some notaries have concealed carry. But I'll see you guys in my next video. Bye, guys.